Bangkok Land will launch 4 residential and commercial projects worth 3 billion baht next year after Mueang Thong Thani escaped damage from the flood crisis. Bangkok Land Managing Director Peter Kanchanapat told a news conference on Tuesday that he sees strong demand for residential projects, while Bangkok Land's location proved it could survive flood impacts. The company expects the 4 new projects to contribute to its targeted revenue of 3 billion baht next year. Bangkok Land earned the profit of 816 million baht on revenue of 2.4 billion baht in the first 6 months of its fiscal year ending March. Half of its revenue came from rental income from Impact Mueang Thong Thani and half from sales of residential and commercial buildings.
And now let's go live to talk to Kun Peter Kanchanapat, the Bangkok Land Managing Director, who will be talking us about the real estate after the floods. สวัสดีครับ Kun Peter.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Yes, Kun Peter, can you please highlight the importance of flood prevention measures after this devastating flood that we have in Thailand?
Well, I mean, let me go back to the what happened during the flood crisis a little first.
All right.
Yes, because actually during the flood crisis, the water did come into Mueang Thong Thani, but we actually managed to drain off the water in a matter of 3 to 4 days, and it's all because of the very good infrastructure groundwork that we have laid out some 20 years ago. I mean, at that time, we have spent about 1.5 billion baht to perfect this infrastructure system in Mueang Thong Thani. I mean, especially, I like to mention the 2 beautiful lakes in Mueang Thong Thani. I mean, they're massive at about 380 rai, which is about 600,000 square meter. And beautiful as they are, but they can actually hold up to 1 million cubic meter of excessive flood water at a time, in addition to the existing water in the lake. And the lake can actually drain off this flood water directly to the public canal called Khong Pangput, which can then drain off the water into Chao Phraya River instantly. And these can all be done very efficiently because we have 5 on-site pumping stations that works continuously to drain off the water.
I see.
And another thing that I like to mention is that in Mueang Thong Thani, we are probably the only private properties that has the on-site expressway ramps that lands inside Mueang Thong Thani. I mean, that's because we have served the 13th Asian Games many years ago, and this has proven to be the very efficient means of transportation and communication during the flood crisis.
Well, as there is already a strong demand for residential projects, how do you think flood-proof residential offers will be doing next year or in the near future?
The residential markets, I think a lot of people will be looking for properties that are in an area that has proven flood prevention measures.
Yes.
And they will be looking for probably some properties that itself has installed some new system to further prevent the flood prevention measure as well. I mean, in one of our properties that we are launching early next year called the Double Lake Condominium, we are, the starting price is about 1.1 billion baht. We are actually adding a few measures to the condominium to further enhance the flood prevention system.
So in which area is this project in?
This is actually in Mueang Thong Thani. It's actually very near the lake that I just mentioned. That's why it's called the Double Lake Condominium.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are actually spending more money now to make sure it's actually working against the flood. For example, we are reinforcing the fence barriers. We are relocating the mechanical and pump rooms to the 2nd floor. And we are installing some special valve to shut off the internal piping system if it's necessary, so that we can prevent any backward shooting of the flood coming back into the building if in a case that it happens. And we are also installing a lot of water filtration system to ensure there's a continuous supply of clean tap water to the people who are living in the condominium as well.
Okay, so you're making sure the estates are safe in the future as well. So how much investment is this in numbers?
We will be actually, well, I mean, in addition to the 1.5 billion baht that we have invested 20 years ago, we are actually going to invest about 200 million baht more in the future to upgrade the existing infrastructure to further prevent any unforeseeable flooding that could come into Muangthong Thani in the future.
Do you see opportunities for the private and public sector to work to prevent the flood to residential projects, or do you think the private sector will have to look after themselves?
Well, I think the government has already announced that they are actually putting on measures in the future in the very short future, that they're going to put in a lot of things to improve the flood protection system in Thailand. But I think the private sectors themselves, they will also have to be aware of the surrounding and the geographical situation, etc., to make sure they can cope with any future flood problem.
Okay, and what about the other industries? Would there be any industries that will benefit from your flood-proof residence?
Well, I think for our own business, like the Impact Exhibition Center, would definitely benefit from it, and also the commercial properties in Muangthong Thani. I think a lot of the people who own shops and or even the banks,
shops, restaurants, exhibition halls over there.
They're very happy with the stuff that we have done. So I think
would
it would further
the
enhance.
airport, Don Mueang Airport, be benefited as well?
We are actually not in the same area as the Don Mueang Airport, so I mean, whatever we can do, and we can only help the surrounding areas.
Okay.
So I can't say for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time, Kun
Thank
Peter.
you very much indeed.